Okay, it's Kevin here. I'm going to have a look at this essay. I've got the criteria to refer to, and I even wrote you a sample essay to illustrate my point. So, as most people spend a major part of their adult life at work, job satisfaction is an important element of individual well-being. 2 questions. What factors, how realistic is job satisfaction for all workers? So, in today's world, now, people, a portion is not spend. A portion means to divide and share out, like a portion, not the same thing as spending. Most of their youth and adolescence, that's not adult life, not the same thing at all. Working, thus, occupational satisfaction has become a direct indicator of a person's well-being. Due to this fact, a variety of factors. Okay, what about question 2? What about that? Question 2. You haven't said anything about question 2. Just put the changes back on. So you've got, okay, there's a variety of factors, okay, namely safe and friendly, blah, blah. What about question 2? So you've briefly answered question 1, but you've not mentioned question 2. So, what factors contribute to job satisfaction? So, what does this have to do with satisfaction? So you're talking about safety. That's not the same as satisfaction. That means, are you happy or satisfied with what you do? It's not the same as safety. Not the same. It isn't asking, how can we make workplaces safe? It's not, and also it's not about desirable work conditions. It's what makes people happy or satisfied with their job. So is it high wages? Is it friendly colleagues? Is it a good environment? Is it a nice office building? That's what it's talking about. Nothing to do with safety. So, again, that's not job satisfaction. It's something else. It's related, but it's not precisely what you're being asked. So, one has to acknowledge that not all workers have a safe work area. Okay, well, again, what's that got to do with satisfaction? Take doctors or nurses, they can get infected. Okay, but that's part of the job. Again, if you said the happiness that doctors give when they save someone's life, that could be something about satisfaction. Not the same thing. Coal mine workers, again, you're talking about danger. Again, that's not what you're being asked. So, most people speculate. Who exactly is speculating? So, you're speculating who is it who is speculating, and they speculate. Well, that's not the same thing. If you mean some people think, most people would argue, most people say think, but not speculate. Not all work environments are friendly, and a good number might even be hostile. Why would you work in a hostile work environment? Why would you do that? Again, so you've got your question 1. What are the factors? You don't really say. It's kind of related, so safe and friendly, but okay, that's like safety, no danger. I mean, you might not be satisfied with your job as a miner, but it could be safe. So it's not the same. It's not the same thing. So the second question, how realistic is it for, everybody, for all workers to be satisfied in their job? Well, you don't explain that. That's something about, so everybody's a different personality. Some are not social by design, hostility, irrational behaviour. What does that have to do with question 2? How realistic is it to expect everybody can be satisfied. You don't answer. In conclusion, Job said, right, why have you said it's You haven't said. You haven't explained why it's unrealistic for all. You haven't. How have you done that? This is about safety, and this doesn't really say anything about why can't most people. You said here that some environments might not be friendly, but what's that? How is that answering? Is it realistic or not for all workers? I mean, what kind of workers? What is the workplace? Are they talking about in the office, in the factory, in a market? I've no idea. So safety is not the same as satisfaction. It's just not. So let's have a look. Task, response. All parts of the prompt. No. All parts of a prompt. No. All parts of a prompt. No. Only partially, incompletely addressed. Yes. Because you haven't answered both questions. Okay, so you can't get more than 5. Are all parts addressed? Not really. So, task, response, that's what you're going to get, because you haven't answered both parts of the question. Cohesion. Let's have a look. Paragraphing, measure followed with ease, logical sequence, well, not really. Logical, well, no, because now these, cohesion and task response are very closely connected. Now I don't think 5, no, 5's not so good, not logical, it's not, I would give it 6. They're generally arranged, but it's not logical because it's not what you've been asked. I can't really give you anything more. Is it? So, okay. If we say, make it 6 then. Okay. Your vocabulary. Let's have a look. So, wide range of vocab, wide resource, uncommon items. Let's have a look. So, inappropriacies occur. Well, that's inappropriate. That's inappropriate youth, adolescence. It's talking about adult life. Alleviating methods. So, alleviating methods. Alleviating what? So there's some inaccuracies, some words that don't quite work. Some, there's some good stuff, irrational behavior, instill fear, a dominance. So there's some good stuff here, but there's some inaccuracies too. So, risk taker, there's some risks there, high degrees of inaccuracy. I give it 7. Examiner might say 6, but I think there's some good, less common and idiomatic items there. There's some that don't quite work, but I think it's not too bad. So I give it 7 for lexical resource. Now, your grammar. It's a number of sentences that you make without a mistake, error-free. 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 So we count the sentences. Let's see what we have here. So we've got articles, modal verb, don't need that. Spelling, Okay, the grammar, actually, not too bad. Not too bad. I'll give it 7. I'll give it 7 because it's not that bad, really. It's not too bad. So, as you can see, the main thing is task response, cohesion, coherence, because you haven't answered the questions as asked. So, 7, 7, 14, 6 is 20, 25. 12 and a half, 6.25, they usually round it down to 6. So, you probably get 6. I'll be generous for today, but I think the examiner would probably give it 6. They usually round it down. They don't round it up. So either 6 or 6.5. To be generous, I'd say 6.5. Mainly because of task response. Now, I did write a sample, so you can have a look at it. So, it's exactly the same. So, for many adults spending a significant part of their lives working, be insatisfied, particularly important. This essay will argue what factors: disposable income, sufficient free time, they're the 2 factors. And question 2, not always to be met. So it's not realistic. So your factors: having some money, you can pay your bills, you can buy some nice things, etc. Okay, so that is that. Is it realistic? For many sectors of the workforce, this is not the case. Today's economy, part-time jobs, job satisfaction, no. In conclusion, although it may be important, some factors are only available to some sections, particular sections, and here I do say, retail, hospitality, other service industries. There's a particular example here, 0 hours, so there's a bit more detail in this answer here. So I'll just put that so you can see it all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'll leave that there. So, not too bad, but I would work on task response and cohesion. The vocab and the grammar, not too bad. Some inappropriacies in paraphrasing, but it's mainly task response that you need to work on. Okay.